All right, so this is a really, really strange news story. We're going to try our best to dig into it and kind of talk about what it means. We're talking today about the S24 Ultra, the next phone in the Ultra series line from Samsung. This is my S23 Ultra here on hand. There have been some rumors swirling for a couple of months now, I think, talking about the cameras that will be present on the upcoming S24 Ultra. One of those rumors was that Samsung would be ditching the 10x optical zoom. And of course, most of us heard this and thought, that sounds insane. They've been doing the 10x optical zoom thing for a few years now, or a couple of years now at least, and it's been something that has really differentiated this device from other flagships that you can purchase in North America. Almost no one else, well, in North America, I think literally no one else has 10x optical zoom. The most everyone else really uses is a 5x zoom, looking at the Pixel 7 Pro, for instance. However, today, which is September the 19th, you may be seeing this video tomorrow, depending on what happens. IS Universe tweeted this: telephoto solution for the S24 Ultra. 3x at 10 megapixels, so that is the same as what we have currently. There is a 3x 10 megapixel sensor on here. 5x 50 megapixel, 1 over 2.52 inch, 7 micrometer individual pixels, and then as you can see there, no 10x optical zoom. So switching from a 3 and a 10 to a 3 and a 5. Of course, they go on to say that these specifications are weaker than the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, which has a 50 megapixel, 1 over 2.52 inch, 0.7 micrometer sensor for the 3x and the 5x. So what would Samsung be thinking here? Why would they do this? How would this be an improvement? To hopefully answer this question in perhaps a speculative sort of way, what I did is I took to my backyard with a tripod. I grabbed my S23 Ultra and I pulled the Pixel Fold out of my pocket because it happens to have a set of cameras that I think will do a pretty good job of demonstrating this. And I took the same photos kind of side by side. And we're going to try to walk through the logic behind why Samsung might, in fact, do this. So for these photos, the ones that are 16 by 9 is the S23 Ultra. The ones that are 4 by 3 are the Pixel Fold. I did this just to kind of help make things nice and clear and to prevent me from having to put text on the screen. So this is the 1X camera. We don't really need this shot. It's just kind of here for posterity, I guess. You can see if you wanted to see how the Pixel Fold holds up against the S23 Ultra, taking a 1X shot. You can kind of see what that looks like for yourself here. I think it does a pretty decent job. But let's jump to the next shot in this, which is going to be 3x. Okay, so 3x is something that the S23 Ultra has an optical lens for. So it should be pretty close to, let's call it lossless. Let's zoom in here on this thing of fish food. You can actually almost read the word flakes there. And of course, we're focusing on these wild morning glories back here in the very corner of the yard. Let's jump over to the Pixel Fold, which lacks a 3x lens. It only has 1x and 5x. Let's zoom in on the same things here. Are we losing some clarity? Not a whole lot there, but if we go back to the morning glories, I do think that, yeah, we're looking a little hazy. So in this instance, having that 3x lens is pretty solid. However, if we go to 5x, and bear in mind, this does not have a 5x lens, so we're using the 3x lens and we're digitally cropping, whereas this does have a 5x lens. What you're going to see is that the S23 Ultra begins to lag behind. So jumping ahead to 5x, you can see that this is sort of a digitally zoomed in shot. It has a particular look to it. Granted, it's not bad, okay? You can still see some pretty good detail back here. But if we look at the Pixel Fold, this doesn't look like a digitally zoomed in shot. In particular here, back on the S23 shot, look at the shadows up here. Look at the grain that's kind of being inserted there. And if we zoom back in here with the Pixel Fold, it's much, much clearer. The colors also look more natural as well. Again, it doesn't have a lens for this, so it's having to take the 3x and punch it in. Now, if we go to the 10x, Of course, here Samsung jumps back up ahead again. This looks really, really nice and clear. The grain has disappeared again. And if we go to the Pixel Fold, which is now using the 5x digitally zoomed into 10x, what you're going to notice is that it definitely does look a little bit worse than the S23 Ultra using its 10x optical. We are beginning to get that sort of oil painting look going on the photo that you're just not going to have with an optical zoom. But that being said, when you're punching way in like that, yeah, you see a difference. But from here, it's not that far off, is it? It's actually pretty remarkably close. You have to consider that the Pixel Fold does not have some super high resolution pixel bend 5x zoom. And now imagine that you take a 5x zoom like that and you make it a 50 megapixel sensor. Of course, the Pixel Fold's 5x is a 10.8 megapixel sensor, and it's kind of close-ish to what the Samsung phone is doing. So imagine Samsung, again, using a 50 megapixel 5x, and then you digitally crop in from 5 to 10. It's possible that 10x zoom is going to be like relatively close to what you're getting with the 10x optical. I don't think it's going to be worse. It will be worse, but I don't think it's going to be that much worse. Now, of course, when you go 20, 30, 50, 100x, yeah, it's going to really begin to suffer. But I think what Samsung is betting on here is they're betting on what zooms people actually use. I would bet that their data says people actually really want to use between 1 and 5x the most. Maybe they use 10 a little bit, and it's still going to be pretty good at that. But anything past 10, people probably just aren't using. So they're deciding to focus on the zooms people probably actually use on their phones more practically. How will this actually pan out? Or maybe we should say, how would this pan out if it actually turns out to be true? That's going to be very, very interesting to see. We must, of course, remember, we're getting this from this tweet, and it's a tweet. We don't have anything else to go on. Ice Universe has been accurate sometimes and inaccurate other times. So again, take this with a pinch of salt. It is but a rumor, something fun to speculate and talk about as of right now. But as of right now, we can speculate. So drop your comments down below. Tell me what you think about this. Would this turn you off buying an S24 Ultra? It kind of would to me, maybe. I kind of feel like that 10x zoom is such a big selling feature for these phones that not having it's going to feel like a downgrade. Even if Samsung says, yeah, but 10x is actually going to be pretty much the same, and 5x is going to be way better. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9x all will be better now than it was before. 10 will be about the same. It does still feel like a downgrade in your mind, because it's like, we had 10, now we only have 5. How is that better? It's going to be interesting to see if they're able to overcome the perception of that with their marketing. Guys, subscribe for more content just like this. I'll see you on the next one. And until then, stay nerdy, my friends.